Here at Indiana Healthcare Services, we are looking for a healthcare assistant and nurse to work in and around Devon and Cornwall. Why work for Indiana? We make sure you work when you want to work, hours that suit your lifestyle. And above all, we provide in-house training and competitive rates of pay. Pick up the phone and call us now on 01752 418 014 or head over to our Facebook page.
What's up, people? It's your boy, Boo Boo. And you're tuned into Plymouth's favourite radio station right now.
Are you caring? Are you a team player and passionate about helping others? Here at Indiana Healthcare Services, we are looking for a healthcare assistant and nurse to work in and around Devon and Cornwall. Why work for Indiana? We make sure you work when you want to work, hours that suit your lifestyle. And above all, we provide in-house training and competitive rates of pay. Pick up the phone and call us now on 01752
At P-Town Radio, we can advertise your business on a small cost. For more information, contact us on email info@ptownradio.co.uk.
Yes. Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Good afternoon. Yes, good morning, good afternoon. Let me know if you can hear me. We're still testing our sound, but I think you can hear me and you can see me. We are live on our Facebook page to this morning. We could be available on our on our radio station this morning. So please let us know if you can hear us. We're just about to start our business shop. Thank you, Jabo, for sharing our show. Please let us know if you can hear us.
752 418.
Jabo for sharing our show. Yes, we are live. Thank you very much. Yes, welcome to the show. It's a breakfast show with Tendai, Madume, and Jabo Butera every Friday. We are live here discussing things that could help you, could help us to develop your business or to start up your business. As a matter of fact, we've been sitting here for the past 2.5 years, trying to emphasize the importance as to become an entrepreneur. As a person, we are myself. I'm an entrepreneur. I own a few businesses in the city, and I'm proud to say that it's a journey that I've taken for a long time. I'm never alone in this studio. Of course, I need my partner in business. I've changed my tune now, Jabo. Jabo Butera, good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning and good afternoon, because we're in an online platform as well. So it might be morning to some people, and it might be night somewhere. It might be night in Canada, because someone as is in Canada. So,
yeah.
It's 12. I can't remember. I don't know what time it is. But yes, good day wherever you are in this world.
Yes.
And good Friday.
It is very good Friday as usual. We're always happy to be here on a Friday at the studios of P-Town Radio, right down in Plymouth, Devon, where me and myself and my colleague here, Jabo Butera, we sit here every Friday for at least half an hour or so and discuss things that can really improve your business, that can really improve yourself as an entrepreneur. Jabo, tell us more.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much for that. And thank you, Tendai, for, again, hosting together. And myself, I'm Jabo Butera. I'm the Managing Director of Diversity Business Incubator. It says what is on the tin. We incubate businesses with entrepreneurs. We support startup. We encourage startup. We work with those who want to start their own businesses and to see their success. So that's what we do, day in, day out. But there's something you said, actually, it was exciting. We've been here for nearly 2 years.
Yes.
But did you realize in those 2 years, we've gained a lot of experience?
Of course.
Someone who hasn't started, or someone who was like us 2 years ago, they might be on that level. So yes, we're up and running. It's exciting. 2 years in the journey, 2 years on the progress.
Yes, that's correct. We're about to get our coffees.
Oh yes.
Our sponsors are just coming for us, so please hold in a second. Jabo, tell people about last week, what we discussed last week. What's coming back?
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for getting the coffee, and thank you to, I'm sure you could talk about Jabolani coffee, what it is coming in. So last week we were having a conversation around, again, our main topic is always around starting our own businesses. So how do you start a business? How do you grow businesses? And then last week we were talking about the cost of living, the impact of the cost of living. This not only on individual cost of living, but we're talking about the business cost of living. What are the impacts? Prices are going up. Costs are going up. Yet we're saying it's good time to start a business.
Yes.
Right? So we were talking about this. We explored, and the question was like, how can you say start a business while we are in this climate of challenge? And as I was saying to you, this climate of challenge is always the case. So when you are coming off, the gravity, when the gravity is not holding you anymore, you need a lot of pressure to come out of it.
That's correct.
So in life, you don't expect the pressure to be less. It has to be higher. So you need to be how to climb above and be like an eagle flying above the clouds so you don't get wet. And then you went on and talking about the journey where we come from and how past history. You said that's funny enough, because large organization, you have a BP, they've just posted their profit, billions of pounds per profit. How come cost of living, but this big organization are making billions?
Yes.
Marks and Spencer, they've just done their report, they made profit. How come? And then you say, well, it's just reminding me, you come from Zimbabwe, and you say, we have a Shell in BP
in Zimbabwe. Yeah.
But I never seen a black person owning a Shell.
Madume,
Yes.
petrol station.
Yeah, owning the petrol station.
No.
And I brought it back. I said, well, we live in Plymouth, coastal city, maritime city. The big business is in the marine and maritime. Millions of pounds go round, right? You see the ship going up and down here on the track. So they go on the other side of town to be painted. They come back to give them that. This part come from the other side. There's no black person in that corridor.
That's correct.
Here in Plymouth. This is 2023. You talked about the history in Zimbabwe many years ago. I'm telling you today about the 2023 in Plymouth. Where the money is, where the profit is making big, we are not there. So above the cloud, we are not there.
Yes.
So what happening when the cost of living comes, when the rains falls, we don't know how to climb above the cloud. We get wet.
Yes.
Like everyone. Drenched. And then you ask, what's that all about? As we're exploring, we just go down and say, is this part of the mental slavery?
Yes, Jabo. Before we jump into that, because it's a very sensitive topic, we're going to have to do all the disclaimers all we can before we jump into that. Yes. Welcome to the show again. This is the following program is being brought to you by P-Town Radio. For more information about their shows and what they do and their hosts and everything else behind the scenes, please head over to our social media platform where you see Facebook is P-Town Radio, Instagram is P-Town_radio. We're also available on Twitter and also via our website. Please head over there and follow us. Let us know how we are doing to give information that helps you and helps ourselves. And of course, like I keep saying every time, we're not alone in this program. We are linked with DBI, Diversity Business Incubator, which is headed by my colleague Jabo Butera and his partner. But if you want more information about them, they can help you to incubate business. That's what they're called, Diversity Business Incubator. So they help you to incubate the business. They help you to improve your business. And you can also check out their social media if you want to. They're available on Facebook as well. It's DBA Southwest, because we are in the southwest of the UK. We are based in Plymouth, which is Devon. They're also available on Instagram, which is very simple for them. They made it easier for us. It's DBI_UK. And also they're on LinkedIn, and got a lot of content on their YouTube. Things that can help you. If you are actually thinking to start your own business, this is the place where you should be heading over to them.
Well, what are you talking about? That? Sorry,
yes.
I'll let you finish the disclaimer, but I'll pick on that one, because sometimes people think it's theory.
Yeah.
If you think of starting, they can help you. No, well, this is a proof in the concept.
That's correct.
This coffee we're drinking.
Yes, that's correct. It's a proof.
This is DBI's
yeah,
product.
That's correct.
So it came
through DBI. Yes, and now we're having a coffee. The following, the views and the ideas expressed in the following programs are strictly those of the host, which is myself and my co-host, Jabo Butera. They are neither or any suggestions from P-Town Radio as a radio station. So they're clearly our views, and clearly it's going to be our voice. We don't represent P-Town Radio as we speak. We are speaking as ourselves. We are not financial advisors. We're just talking business from experience perspective. So please allow us to express ourselves. If you want to express with us, the number is 07835 490010. Send us a WhatsApp message so we can read out. Send out a question if you want to ask something. But today we're talking about a very, very good sensitive topic. It's sensitive only maybe to those who are going to be listening, but not sensitive to me. It's a topic that needs to be discussed, that needs to be talked about.
Yes.
We're talking about mental slavery. This came out of me and myself, Jabo and myself. We were talking last week, Jabo. We're talking about how can we, as people from the BME background, jump the hoops.
As a black person.
As a black person,
Go around it.
how do we jump?
where it is.
How do we jump the hoops of not owning things, not owning ITs? And Elon Musk just come from nowhere, he's buying everything. The young man who Facebook guy, he comes up with ideas, he's flourishing. Yes, we are doing well with sports, we are doing well with music, if you were talking about globally in terms of the black people globally. But we are talking on a small community base. We are a community radio station. So we are talking from really, really low income, low resources.
Yes.
Jabo. And you brought out to us that our mental slavery is the bigger factor why we are not flourishing, why we're not opening businesses in numbers.
Yeah.
Let's jump into that, Jabo.
Thank you very much, Tendai. And this is going to be an interesting topic.
Yes.
But most people don't understand what we're talking about. So we thought let's do a due diligence.
Yes.
As you say, our views is not the pattern, but also we're not just speaking from the thin air. We do due diligence, we do research. So we did research and then finding what is the definition of mental slavery. And this is what Google says. Mental slavery refers to the internalized beliefs and attitudes that subconsciously perpetuate oppression, self-doubt, and feeling of inferiority among marginalized group. Right? So this is Google. You can find. I'm not me just saying it.
Yes.
Although that's what it is.
Yes, correct.
So you're talking about this is an internalized belief and attitude. That attitude perpetuate or create this feeling of self-doubt, feeling inferior. So it's a product of systemic racism and has profound implication on individual perception of themselves and their place in the society. There's that inferiority coming in. There's that perception of yourself and the place in the society. That's what you're talking about. You place yourself saying, I cannot own that large company. I cannot be among those who are generating millions. It's not my corridor. I cannot be the vice chancellor. Even in football, I cannot be the coach. I cannot be the player.
That's correct.
How many black coaches do you know?
Yes.
How many successful in the element of the Jose Mourinho and all the others?
That's correct.
None.
None.
And they were not even nowhere near.
Yes. And if you see even the players that come into the country here and play top football, they disappear. Where's Nakukano? Where's JJ Okocha? Where's Didier Drogba? Where's Samuel Eto'o? You know all these players. But then you see other players, they get accommodated. They
Racism.
Yeah.
But what it is, what you're talking about, that's a system. What we're talking about is this self-doubt. This is self-conscious of feeling like we are inferior. And this is the place we need to be in the society. I can only have that corner shop. I can only sell my tumbu, and my shop have to be dirty.
That's
my
correct.
shop have to be missing this. The fire extinguisher is not there. That's okay. That's my space. And anyone else feeling like yes.
So Jabo, let's focus on what we you're right. I agree with you there. But I want us to focus on the mentality we have as black people when it comes to businesses. I did mention to you last time, when I was growing up, I'll keep referring to my mom every time when we're talking about businesses because that's where I learned my trade. I didn't go to business school. I'm an IT graduate. But when we were growing up, we had a store at the market where the buses used to turn around and stop and, here we call it coach station. And you don't see someone selling any tomatoes at the coach station. But back home, my mom, that's where we have.
You have a supermarket. You don't selling, see one selling tomatoes. You have the supermarket on the corner.
On a corner,
Yeah,
yes.
You have, most of the time, it depends where you are. You have Marks and Spencers, or you have a cheaper supermarket.
True. In service stations, yeah, and where the bus stops for recess and stuff like that, there's always a shop.
Yeah.
You see, that's what I'm talking about. So, exactly that. So, my mom used to have a shop where I grew up myself selling cabbages, apples, tomatoes. That's where I learned my trade for business, right? But my point is, if people around us, when they were seeing us as poor.
Right.
We are making ends meet by selling tomatoes and cabbages.
Yeah.
So the concept of us doing that was a poor concept.
Yeah.
Are you hearing me?
I do hear you.
So us trying to be entrepreneurs back home, growing up, we were deemed the poorest.
Yeah.
My mom didn't just start selling tomatoes. That was an upgrade.
Yeah.
She started selling small candies at the gate at a school, primary school, where I used to go to school.
Yeah, water in the plastic.
So I would know my mom was there at the gate. My break time, I'll go and get my candy. She's selling candy for other kids. There's a line of women selling. That's how I grew up.
You get the freebies.
I get the freebies, yes.
Eating on the profit.
But the concept I'm trying to bring to you is we were deemed poor by doing so. So now, of course, I've come up now and used those skills my mom used to teach me. But how many of us? Because if I'm growing up thinking doing that is poor, being an entrepreneur, being self-employed is poor. Because we never had businesses like we talked about back home.
Yes.
We never had big businesses. We never owned anything. Our fathers didn't own big businesses. If your father was a carpenter in a corner shop, is deemed poor.
Yeah.
If your father is a plumber, even worse, because you're holding rubbish, you're holding waste. Huh? That's how we grew up here.
In the mind.
In the mind.
It's sold to you, it's poor. It's poverty.
Yes, Jabo.
So the hustling or the chances or the push of using your talent to earn your own income and decided your timing is deemed poverty. That's the mental slavery. So they teach you saying that if you go that direction, it's not gonna work. While themselves they're going that direction and their children are going that direction, but you cannot go that direction, and it's passed on to generation thinking if you go that direction, that's poverty. There's no safety. It's not safe. You need to have safety. Go and look for a job. You need to go and study and be a doctor, and then that is safe.
Yes, exactly. So yes, even growing up, you'll be told what do you want to do when you grow up. You gotta have to say those kind of jobs. If you say entrepreneur, you get a beating.
Are you crazy in your head?
Yeah, you get a
Up to
beating.
today,
Yeah,
you get a beating. I want to do business. What are you talking about?
yeah. You get a beating.
Go and study.
Go and study medicine.
Go and study medicine.
Yeah,
Go and be an engineer.
yeah. But then if you ask Elon Musk, he didn't do all that.
Because they think in entrepreneurship or that capacity of generating your own money, it's poverty.
Yes.
That's what have been sold to us. It's the same. They say you can only look after the chicken, but you cannot eat the egg. The egg is for the white person. Did you know that story? Well, the time of the priest when they came to Africa, when they were before the independence and anything, when they bring they introducing themselves into the African continent, because they were staying there and they were not used to any other consumption of any other meat, red meat and others. All they knew was the chicken. But also the other thing they've had in common, like with in Europe, where they're coming from, it was egg. Because egg, if you boil it and you keep it on the ship, you can keep it longer. Or you can even have an egg on they used to carry a lot of eggs on the ship because that they can keep them longer. You don't need to keep it in the fridge. And that way they knew what egg was. So arriving in Africa, because they were not acclimated for what was being eaten, you eat anything. We eat a lot of different. We know what it is, diversity in eating. When the white man came with the white dress, he was talking about establishing himself in the area, and the only thing they could know much was the egg. So what they were doing, he was asking people to pick the egg and give to them. Bear in mind those years, a black person didn't know you can consume the egg because of sacrilege. Because from the egg, that's where came the chicken. You cannot consume that because you are going to be stopping your next production of chicken.
Yeah.
But the white man can say, I'm eating. I'm eating the egg, and it became a rule. Only the white person is the one who's gonna eat the egg. So you look after the chicken,
Yeah.
and then all the eggs you take to the white man.
Take to the white man.
And if you get found eating the egg, you get beaten up. Not only by saying it was not supposed to be yours, but also by your family saying you don't eat egg. Egg is to produce chicken. So don't do that. You get beaten.
Yeah.
And suddenly become the mentality.
Of course.
So that is only for the other person. So it's the same. You get prepared in your mind. That continuity of you becoming ingenious and clever in this generating your own income, it does not work. You need to go and get a job, because that's what it says. Or study this. Mentor. So, yeah.
Mental slavery. We're talking about mental slavery. So joining us right now, this is your boy here, Boo P-Town Radio. We're talking about the mental slavery. We're talking about things that have made us not develop as black people, or people from the BME, because the British takeover, the British Empire is not just ends with black people. It's also in India. It's everywhere, and these continents, these countries are struggling. Jabo, we're in a business talk. We're talking about business here, so this is just not about teaching you how about mental slavery or how slavery came into. We're talking about how this affect you as a person to become an entrepreneur, because they say the bird of the same feathers flock together. So if you grow up not understanding, which I just referenced earlier, when I grew up, selling tomatoes in the market was deemed poor. Being a carpenter was deemed poor. Being a plumber was deemed poor. But these are the self right now in the UK. If you're a plumber, you are making money. If you're a carpenter, you are making money, because all the houses they made.
That's what you think. Ask the young people today on the street, the black young people.
Yeah.
Would you like to be a plumber?
They'll say,
No.
they say no. Yeah. No, I'm saying, okay, I was saying my white counterparts.
Yes, you understand it.
Yeah.
Because you're in that field already of business.
Business, yeah.
You understand if you have a plumbing business.
They will say
you have
no.
a thriving
Yeah.
business, the demand is always there.
That's correct.
So that you understand it because you're in that field.
Yes.
And you can see the potential of it.
Yes, correct.
You can grow to become plant-based.
Yes.
Plant-based was a small one person.
One person started the plumbing.
In London,
Yeah.
And then it's everywhere.
It's everywhere around the country.
It's the same thing with the range. We're talking about the ranges that are looking at buying Wilco. He started as a small one and expanded. It's the same.
So,
yes, you are there. You understand it.
That's correct.
But that's not the message on the street.
Yeah. No. That's what I was trying to say. That people, when we grew up, we grew up to be told that all these small entrepreneur jobs we are talking about, they are done by poor people.
Yes.
So because of that, we have not grown up wanting to be a plumber, wanting to be self-employed, wanting to be an engineer, wanting to be you know how many panel beating people are right now. I was telling you, I was in Zim this year.
Yes.
The mentality is changing. So there's a shift of change. I've seen so many people now who are starting their own businesses. They are employing other people. So the shift has changed. Yes. But it's going to take... we're here talking about business knowledge and being an entrepreneur. And I'm saying, I think it's going to take another decade before we are clean slate. We wipe out the mentality, the slavery mentality that was installed in us, because we grew up believing only a white man can own a company. Yes. Only a white guy can be a CEO of a company. And most of them, they were all British companies when we grew up. I'm from Zimbabwe, so to speak, those who are listening to us. So nothing was local, like nothing. The companies, the factories, the mines, the German, which don't even have a mine in German. No. But they come to Zimbabwe and become German, they become the bosses of mines. Yes. That kind of mentality of not thinking, actually, no. We are the one who is doing the work here. We are the one who understand. Why do we just need Mr. Hossenberg to come and become our CEO of this company? That's the mentality slavery we're talking about. Yes. And we have grown with that. It's now coming back to our topic in terms of where we are now in a community, Jabo, in a low scale. Yes. People are failing to start businesses. Not only they're failing, if they start, we have statistics. It won't last 5 years before it's closed. Yeah. How do we move from that, Jabo? Just talk about Black Lives Matters, because I think that's where probably the shift came in.
Yes. So thank you for that. As you just put it blind there, that is the what you call the legacy of this historical oppression. it has been there for many years, that operation. You might just start seeing the sprouting of it, just a little bit of that people standing up saying, I can do it. I need to be in these spaces as well. But it's not enough. And it's not taught on the ground. You're still thinking, if you look, for example, I'll give an example where we live now in the Southwest. And I keep asking, find me an organization owned by a black person or an Asian person that has a turnover of £1 million, and it's there listed on the book. You can see this is what they've made, that's their turnover, and this is their projection in 3 years. They're going to be making 5 million. Zero.
Yeah.
2023.
Zero.
There is none.
So we are very good at opening these small tuck shops.
Yeah, because
our mindset.
We feel that's what we can do.
That's what we can do.
If you go to the bank today, I do hear that. People saying, you are not, I don't know, sometimes they use this harsh word. You don't have clean hands to hold this money. It's already planted in you.
Yeah.
And then you start feeling, I don't have the clean hands to hold that money.
Yeah.
I cannot hold a million.
Yeah.
It's too much for me.
Yeah.
Because that's what you used to see all your life. But we need to change that mentality.
That's correct.
And we can change about it if we talk about it. It's the same thing with a trauma situation. When you've been traumatized, when you've seen, let's say, an accident happen in front of your eyes, right? Boom, an accident happened. Someone get crushed, and you watched it, you've seen it. You are traumatized. It goes in your subconscious, stays there.
Yeah.
And you're going to be dreaming about it. You're going to have nightmares. You're going to wake up sweating. It's there. It plays in your mind.
That's correct.
Right? For you to be able to come out of it, they tend you to speak to psychologists or someone to help you. And how do they help you? You talk about it. You revisit it. And then you revisit the emotion you went through.
Yeah.
They say to you, so how were you feeling? What was the feeling? And then they ask you, what are the feelings you're having now when you talk about it?
Yes.
You see? We've been through this legacy of historical oppression, but we don't talk about it in that way. So you've seen that, like you say, since when you were younger, you've never seen a black person owning a petrol station.
No.
They worked there.
Yeah.
They were the pumps.
For life.
They were cleaning it.
Yeah.
But they never own it.
Yeah.
And you were like, how am I going to own a petrol station? How come you're going to come to England and think you're going to own a petrol station? He never going to cross your mind.
No.
We have a lot of petrol stations in England. How many do you know they belong to black people?
No.
Because that, from history, you never have seen that before. So it's that perpetuation oppression which stays in your subconscious. And then for us talking about it here, it gives us that chances. What we say, we're not just pointing out, this is what's wrong, this is what was happening. What I'm trying to say here, it's happening. It's here.
Yeah.
Let's start thinking outside the box. Let's start thinking big. Climb above that rain so that you cannot be ran over. Climb above the cloud.
Okay, Jabo. Let's talk about that, Jabo. Let's talk about overcoming mental slavery requires introspection and action.
Yeah.
Jabo, what strategies can individuals adopt to break free from this mental oppression we're talking about? What is it that we can do as human beings who have now we've moved around?
Yes.
Thank God with the freedom of movement. Yes. People have moved around. If I refer back to Africa, I feel like Africa is developing, but in a very, very small pace in terms of trying to eradicate the mental capture,
yes,
which is still existing in even financial capture.
Yeah.
We're still captured financially by the world banks and the rest. We're still paying France
not
to
only paying that, they decide your rating.
yeah. They tell us how much your dollar is also equal to our money. So that which kills us as well. If you go right now with the $5 in Zimbabwe and change it into Zimbabwean dollar is bucket of money, yeah, just $5. So, which is still like that's what we're talking about. So how do we change that mindset, Jabo?
So I think what we started with, we talked about this one. It starts with education. Education, but not the education where again, you've been pumped the wrong information. Education, a lot of people don't realize what is education. The education is that self-education. So you have the freedom. You're talking about the freedom of movement. Here we're talking about the freedom of thinking. Education is important. How do we self-educate? How do we find the information? How do we question? You know, when you say education is, let's talk about, like say, schools. You go there to acquire knowledge. But you don't acquire knowledge by just saying 1 + 1 = 2. They'll tell you the first day 1 + 1 = 2. And second day 1 + 1 = 2. And the third day they'll come and ask you the question, 1 + 1 = what? You see, you've been planted that knowledge in your head, right?
Yes.
Now you know 1 + 1, you'll answer 2 because you're being questioned. Education is that questioning in your mindsets. When you say what, you question it. So what is that? We start with education and self-awareness. We're only going to get to this self-awareness and education through conversation. Not only we have that conversation, frank conversation and uncomfortable conversation and those challenging conversation, let's have them happening. The other one is we need to do able to embrace the culture heritage. Embracing the cultural heritage. When we are embracing that cultural heritage, it's our history, our culture. So you don't just embrace something new or that what has been imposed.
Yes.
Look at your own. Your ancestors, right? They were there from day one. And there was lion and elephant and everything, and they knew how to live with it. You had 20 children. Maintained them. They did. Right? And then there's a new culture coming in. Say you only have 2 children, and then you embrace that, and then because the climate is this, you get all these are your cultural history. But how do we embrace them? Not just getting the new one and replacing the old one, forgetting about it. It's embedded in you. You have it. You need to know yourself. So that's the self-awareness. It's really important. And promoting positive self-affirmation. That's the other really key element. How do we promote this positive self-affirmation?
Yes.
It's very rare to hear a young person say, well, I'm going to be a millionaire. Or they look at saying, I want to be like Elon Musk. No, it does. It's very few of our young people that cross their mind.
Yeah.
I want to be, I don't know, what do you call, a rapper.
Yeah.
I want to be Kanye West.
Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to be, it's like saying I want to be rhyme stealing or Rashford.
You're interested.
It's an interest, yeah. Yeah.
It's the money. That's not success.
I see.
That's not success. Success comes with wisdom. Success comes with it's more. I like the African way. What do you call it? The values. When we talk about the opposite of poverty, we don't say the opposite of poverty is wealth. The opposite of poverty is dignity.
Dignity, yeah.
Success goes with dignity. I think success goes with dignity, and it's really, really important. So when you have a lot of money and you don't have dignity, there's no success in it.
No.
So that's why I was giving an example.
Thank you. You did. Thank you very much, Jabo, for that elaboration. Let's wrap up this conversation, Jabo. It's clearly that mental liberation is intertwined with the struggle for equality. It works the same, isn't it? The Black Lives Matter movement reminds us the acknowledgement of our worth as minority. We are worth what we are. Because the light bulb was slated by a black guy.
Yes.
That I know.
Yeah.
But we don't own any light bulb.
No.
But it was slated by a black person. But we don't own any light bulb companies. There's no.
Shall I tell you what is inside? The pattern of it does not belong to him. It's a white guy who has the pattern and he'll get paid for that.
Yeah.
It's the same with our history. someone will come in Africa and find
A place.
beautiful river and call it Livingstone.
Oh, don't you get me that?
Livingstone.
Yeah.
You've been there for many years.
Victoria Falls. It's called Musiatuya. For everyone who's listening to us right now, Victoria Falls was only named after the Queen by someone who claimed to have discovered it. But the way he discovered it, he was taken to the place by a local gentleman to say, come and see this beautiful place. Yeah. And he's now naming it. He's now saying, I discovered it.
Isn't that the mental slavery?
Now it's his name on the King Livingstone.
Yes.
His name is there right now. If you go to Victoria Falls, please, it's a beautiful place. If you are listening to us right now, it's time to promote my country for a little bit in a positive way.
Yes.
If you want to see,
positive affirmation.
that's correct. Yes. So if you want to see the beautiful falls of in Africa, which is between Zambia and Zimbabwe, they fall to Zimbabwe, but we share them. Zimbabweans tend to claim them because the falls, you can only see them beautifully if you are in the Zimbabwean shores. But they divide us. They're literally like a border across. So please head over there and go and see it. But what we're talking about is about mental slavery. Right now, King Livingstone plug is still on that river.
Yes.
For many years, as if he discovered. So if you go there, you would think King Livingstone lived there. He was the one who probably met this beautiful creature. It's not human made. It's natural to begin with. So you can't claim it. God given. But if you see there's a big plug, no mention of any locals, but there were locals in the area. That's why we're talking about the mental slavery. Because if you go there, you are now forced to think King Livingstone is the one who owned that place, who discovered that place.
Yeah, before that was not discovered.
For years.
So that mental slavery is still continuing today. And that's what we're talking about.
Yes, correct.
It seems like the black people, Asian people, we are not worthy of being millionaires. It's like planted in our mind. You cannot have a thriving business and being a multi-millionaire. You either come from the talent because you're a footballer, actor,
rapper, musician.
Yes.
That's correct.
What happened to that crafting part? What happened to being the one on 520 petrol station? We've had few people who've been to the craft through. The brothers who owns now as the petrol stations. They're Asian communities. But, it's really, really 1 out of million.
Out of millions, yes.
It's very rare, and we don't talk about. So that's what we're talking about. This is promoting positive self-affirmation. We tend to promote, like, say, oh, he's not worth it. He's the one he's the one.
Hold on, Jabo. On that note, I don't know if it happens in your country as well.
Yes.
If someone has made it successful, he realizes, okay, oil is the industry, he's joined it. Do they say also in your country, in my country, they do a lot? If someone is now, I would say, he's made it. And instead of congratulating the gentleman or the lady, we now say he's gone to some traditional, I don't know how to put it in English now. Some juju. He's done some juju for him to be where now he's got Ferraris, he's got the cars he's a millionaire because he's doing gas or he's doing oil, he's in that industry. But now straight away we are now thinking it's not doable by a black person unless if it's juju.
It touched something.
That's mental slavery we're talking about.
Yeah. And then you go to the person, he's still showing them, saying to them, brother, show me, how did you do it? You go like, come on, tell me.
Give me the uncle who gave you.
The uncle number so I can ask you as well. Who do I need to sacrifice? Why do we have those conversations? Why can we not say, this is the cash flow, this is the business plan, this is how you do it?
That's correct.
No, we don't say that. You go like, give me the uncle who gave you that portion. And it's there, it's in the books, and that's how we've been drawn. It's designed like saying this is what you do.
Yeah.
If we say like even African football today, it's so sad. You see the people come on the stadium, instead of celebrating their culture, what they wear and the way they present it, they wear all these feathers and masks and they're not using it as a sense of saying we're celebrating our culture. They're using it as this is a force, this is the dark forces we're using. That's why we're winning, because we have this dark force we go to. No, it's the technique of passing the ball around. It's the technique someone
and
has
putting
designed it.
and put in the net.
No, we don't do that. We're focusing saying the one
We
who's
need
wearing,
juju.
the one who poured blood on himself, and that's what made us win. Mental slavery.
If you're just joining us right now, Tendai, Madume, Jabo, Butera on a Friday, our conversation today sound very political. Sound as if we are stressed with some sort of we're trying to clear a point. We're not. All we are saying is entrepreneurship, mental slavery has distracted our minds to start businesses. That's what we are saying.
Yes.
And we are just stuck in that zone of thinking a vendor is a poor person. Well, he's now selling tomatoes because they are poor, not because they are being innovative. They're trying to do things. They're being inventive. So they're trying to do things for their living, which starts from selling tomatoes. I told you earlier on. I grew up in a house. I was the head of marketing in our house without even knowing. My mom we used to buy.
Gosh, this is exciting.
Yeah.
You just dropped it. You're saying you were the head of marketing.
Yeah.
Without knowing.
Yeah.
But your mom was saying, I'll sell the tomatoes so I can send my child to go
to school,
study and become a doctor. Hello?
Yes.
Why don't you teach that child how to craft this business? So because you're selling 10 tomatoes, how can you grow it and start selling 100 tomatoes?
If I tell you, Jabo, when I was growing up, we used to make popcorns.
Yes.
So we'll make popcorns, we'll buy plastic, we'll turn the plastics into pockets ourselves at home with a candle.
Yes, and
we didn't need machine.
And then
No.
I know it. We do it with peanuts.
Yeah, same with peanuts. Yes, you make it at home yourself. That's production.
Yes. And then you learn how to do with a packet of air in between.
And
it looks like bigger.
That's correct. And doing that, you know even the margin. You know how much peanuts you've got or how much popcorns you've made. What's making you money? Without anything, that's business we were doing.
That's the cash flow.
But we were told that's poor. That's poor.
It's still happening to today. How many people? How many? If you can give me 10 of your friends who are from the community you come from who are running businesses today. Have you got 10 on top of your head? It will take you a whole day.
Yeah.
To get those 10.
Yeah.
Hello, because they say to you, starting a business is poverty. There's no security. There's no guarantee.
Yeah. That's the
Don't
mentality.
take that risk.
That's correct. Listen, Jab, we can be here all day. Let's wrap this up. I mean, listen, if you're listening to us and you want to contribute to this show, please don't forget the number is 07 835 49001. Give us a call and tell us your experience of mental slavery or your experience of what you have overcome as well. We want to hear you. What is it that you've overcome to where you are today? We are looking to talk to business people a lot around the world. We don't mind where you are from, but share your story with others so it might inspire others. So we can have more people in the industry. I'm talking about in industry, any industry. It could be tech. It could be technicians. It could be mechanics. It could be plumbing. It could be electricity guys. We want entrepreneurs, and we want them come from the BME people. That's what we are encouraging. That's what we are talking about. Those are my last words, Jabo. Give them, Jabo. I know you always have good for them.
Well, I just wanted to give a shout first of all to two of my colleagues, a friend of mine who, young. We started very young with them. My friend Andy Washeka is in Northern Ireland, watching from Northern Ireland. Another great entrepreneur mindset.
Yeah. I think we should have him on board soon.
Yes, we started.
Tell us his story. Yeah.
Secondary school.
Yeah, that's good.
In a place called Bukavu, Bekivi. And then Charles Viteño is in London. He lives in London. I don't know where he's watching from. Great guy as well.
Yeah.
So they're all watching, and I'm gonna give a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.
Yes,
And,
we appreciate.
We appreciate for your watching. The last word I can leave with, as I always say, I like that part says promoting positive self-affirmation.
That's correct. Yes.
And I saw something this last month. One of our great friend here who live in Plymouth, a great entrepreneur, Fitz from Honky Tonk.
Yeah.
Fitz, I'm sure he's listening as well. For the whole month, him and his wife, they've been going on this journey of the appreciation. It's that self positive affirmation. He's appreciating everything every day, and they put it on Facebook.
That's correct.
He's not talking about business. He's talking about appreciating things.
That's correct.
Appreciating every day.
Yes.
It's important. It's needed.
That's correct.
This is someone who's been in business for a long time, and he's doing that. What about you? What are you doing? What is your everyday walk? What is it you're saying about yourself every day? Please change it. Use the positive self affirmation.
Yes.
Once you start talking good about yourself, then you talk good about others.
That's
then
correct.
When you see Tendai driving a big Range Rover, you're not gonna say he touched you because he's done it. Yourself, you've seen it yourself into that position.
That's correct.
Right? What I'm saying about the new Range Rover, not the old one.
Is it? I receive. I receive. Thank you very much, Jabo. Thank you very much for joining us on the enlightening journey of breaking mental chains. Remember, the path to freedom begins with understanding and healing. Let's continue this conversation, support one another, and work towards a world where every life is valid and empowered. Until next time, it's your host, Tendai Madume. Have a good weekend and stay blessed. Happy Friday, happy weekend. I'll see you next time. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.